All right, ladies and gents, this is a second stream for this evening. I didn't think that there would be more news to talk about what's happening today, but this is what's happening in Venezuela right now. This is
Esa mierda, marico. Mierda, marico. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mamá huevo. Qué locura. Moscaí, Moscaí. Mira esa mierda. Explotaron allá toda esa mierda porque tú no estás explotando.
so this is what's being reported as
Mierda, marico,
U.S.
se prendió el peo en esta mierda,
loud.
yo.
U.S. aircraft flying over the. Again, news is just coming in, bringing this to you. And I have a friend from Venezuela that's actually reporting on this in Spanish, and he said, "Call me. Let's get you on here." I'm gonna give him a call here. This is my buddy Rudy, who actually reports on what's happening in Venezuela. So I got him on the line right now. We're going to be chatting with him about what's happening and showing you more footage of what's going on. Rudy, can you tell me what's happening right now?
Yeah, so I don't have too much time. You know that I'm live, but I can tell you what I have right now so far, right?
Yeah.
There is no confirmation yet that this is an attack in or by the United States. We don't know so far, like if it's the United States or if another country, or maybe even the same army from Venezuela. What I can tell you right now is that the targets is being like military targets, including one of the main and huge military base in Caracas, Venezuela. Actually, the place where apparently Maduro and also Diosdado Cabello, who is the second in command, have been hiding apparently in that place. I got a text. This is extra official. It's not confirmed yet that probably Diosdado Cabello, the second in command, is down. But this is like don't take it like as official or confirmed information. I'm still looking to confirm this. But so far there is like different places. I can tell you the names. Charallave, Atillo, Higuerote, Baruta, Cuartel de la Montaña. Cuartel de la Montaña is the place where they have Chavez, like the you know, the kind of like the place that they
like a memorial for Chavez is there?
The memorial Chavez, yeah. So apparently they attacked that. I have multiple videos that I'm gonna be sending to you.
Oh, please do, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you to WhatsApp, right? So for now, that's the information that I have. I have the image of the moment that the Cuartel de la Montaña, again, a very iconic place in Caracas. So one of the missiles, hit that target. And yeah, so you can clearly see that there are multiple airplanes. There are missiles like falling, on the ground. But again, there's no confirmation, there's no signal, or there's no sign of the government, like of Venezuela, saying anything. There's nothing. Like we don't know so far who is doing this. We believe it's the United States, right? But yeah, well, I'm still trying to get that information. As soon as I learn who is attacking inside Venezuela, I will let you know.
So one of the things I noticed right away is a lack of anti-aircraft explosions or anything coming up and shooting at these aircraft that are flying above. I thought Venezuela was heavily fortified. They've been bragging about that, talking about showing footage of their military and their presence and what they can do. It doesn't seem like there's any sort of retaliatory action going on right here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Kai. I have to leave you now because I have people texting me right now with some information. But I will send more information to you Apparently, one of the TV channels in Venezuela right now is streaming. It's the only one. So I'm gonna go there and check what it is, and I will let you know if I learn something new. In a few minutes.
And honestly, call me back at any point during this and fill me in, because there's obviously you're helping people in Spanish, but I'll help people out in English. Get this out there.
For sure. Thank you, Clyde. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rudy.
All right, man. Talk to you.
Bye
All right.
soon.
Take
Talk
care.
soon.
Okay. Bye.
That's Rudy from RudyCast. You can definitely go check him out. He has a Spanish channel. He's from Venezuela originally, and he's been reporting on this extensively. The lead up to what we're seeing here with a conflict with possibly a conflict with the United States. There are no confirmations that this is the United States just yet. And I mean, there are some crazy footage here. Benny Johnson posting this. More video emergence of explosions in Caracas, Venezuela. This is pretty impressive. A bit of closer shot of that. Unreal footage. Of course, people joking about it right away. Me, when I'm about to fall asleep and POTUS pulls a fast one in Venezuela at 2 a.m. We're not sure yet. We're not sure yet if that's what's actually happening at this moment. Breaking U.S. troops on the ground in Venezuela, says Nick Sordor, along with U.S. Air Force assets overhead per Reuters. So apparently Reuters has said this. Virtually all of us, virtually all U.S. Air Force planes on the globe have now turned off their transponders. This isn't over. No, this isn't over. There's going to be lots more about this. He also tweeting out here, breaking at least 6 large explosions just have occurred throughout Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. Unconfirmed reports of potential U.S. airstrikes targeting military infrastructure. President Trump may have just dropped the hammer. Is this the case? We can't say for sure at this point. I have no confirmation that this is, in fact, the United States doing this. But let's, of course, check what's happening here. The White House would be putting out a statement if this was something that they put out. So that was from October 7th. Anything new? Nope, nothing new on this. Of course, we can check other, and I'm going to keep rechecking on that as well. Yeah, POTUS. Keep up on that. Some people in the chat saying it's not the USA. This very well might not be. This absolutely very well might not be the United States in this case. Normally, when something like this goes down, the U.S. President Donald Trump, gets on there right away to tell people what just occurred, but we don't have anything like this. So here's the footage here. I'll pop it on the screen so you can see it better. Breaking reports of U.S. Army CH-67G Chinook special operations helicopter seen over Caracas, Venezuela during suspected U.S. airstrikes, but at this point it's just suspected. At least 12 explosions appear to have occurred throughout the capital city. These Chinooks are believed to be from the Army's airborne known as the Army's 60th airborne known as Night Stalkers. The U.S. has not yet confirmed airstrikes. No confirmations on this just yet. But yeah, giant explosions, and we're not sure what's going on in this case just yet. But we're going to get more information here soon. Apparently, the Venezuelan authorities are jumping on, talking about this. Let's see what's on the latest. Got to be careful, actually, when showing the latest. Go at the top. Refresh. Get to that. Get as much information out there for you guys as possible. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, we've got more footage here. Clint Russell saying U.S. now bombing Caracas, Venezuela. Not what I voted for. Is this actually footage from that? Not sure. Breaking U.S. Army Apache attack helicopters are absolutely annihilating Fort Tuna in Caracas, Venezuela. This is a key military installation in the country's capital. I mean, it was. There's no knowing if that's actually. Well, Nick Sortor, the peer that would, I would say that that's probably real footage of what's happening here. Screw any leftists that are making excuses for Maduro right now simply because they hate Trump. Maduro runs a murderous, brutal dictatorship, says Drew here on X, that completely destroyed Venezuela and sent 7 million people into exile. Screw Maduro and screw communism. Yeah. Screw those guys. Absolutely. Benny Johnson showing the same footage here. Insane scenes out of Caracas, Venezuela, where a reported U.S. attack is underway. Is this really a U.S. attack? This is what's being said at this point, but we don't know. We don't know at this point what's actually happening here until we get something from the White House. And nothing yet. Still nothing. No posts from the White House. No posts from Donald Trump on his X. Nothing just yet. But we just heard from Rudy earlier. He was explaining what's actually happening on the ground there. And he'll be getting back to me as well, again, when we learn some more information of what's actually happening here. Unreal scene on the ground and unfolding as we're talking here. Unbelievable. We got lots of people in the chat. Some people disagreeing with others. Trump is the man. This is interesting. Maybe it's to force a surrender. I think that would probably be the best plan of action if this is the United States, for them to surrender at this point. I don't know if you've seen the stats recently. There's a video of Rogan actually commenting on this. It's really interesting viewpoint on. Let's pull it up. So again, here it is. Rogan says the quiet part aloud about Trump's war on drugs, that the media doesn't want to tell you. They don't want to give you this information. I need to pull this whole thing up here so I'm not staring down at the ground anymore. That would be better. Here we go. So this was a great showing by Joe Rogan, explaining basically that what Trump's been doing is working.
From the time Trump's been in office, deaths by overdose have dropped off a cliff. Look at that. Look at 2024. And leading into 2025.
Just
look
going
at
down.
These are all deaths from overdoses. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, look at that.
If
From
you see
all
the graph
drugs,
here,
which is the top one.
all going
Look
down.
at that drop. I mean, that's crazy. So you see the peak in was in 2022, or it looks like actually 2020, between
It looks like
2023
mid.
and 2024. That's the peak where people are dying. And then from the time Trump's in office, it's taking a fucking sharp downturn. And why is
Huge.
that? Well, part of it is because they're blowing up these fucking boats that are bringing in all the drugs. And not just drugs, but drugs that are tainted with fentanyl. From the time Trump's...
the worst of this stuff. That's exactly what's happening. The absolute worst of this stuff. And Trump's putting an end to it is what's really going down. Trump's saying, no, enough of that. We're not going to allow that into our borders. And it's really put a big downturn to that stuff coming in and harming people. Now let's get back to see what's happening on the ground in Venezuela. Any new news on this? The top things being talked about here. Here it looks like there's some more footage. So obviously we're in the modern age and people can just take photos or videos with their phones. Just in, U.S. Apache helicopters are still unloading on military facilities in Venezuela, lighting them up using missiles and rotary cannons. Trump clearly ordered our troops not to hold back. Pray for these guys tonight. Is there confirmation that this is U.S.? The way he's talking is as if there is a confirmation. I haven't seen that confirmation yet, so I'm not pulling the trigger on that one. Somebody's pulling the trigger on something tonight. That's crazy. America, hey, millions of third world foreigners are stealing billions from Americans and invading your country. Can you deport them, please? Current admin, best I can do is bomb Venezuela. Yeah, I mean, you got to take care of both situations. Nobody's no, you get, it's not one thing. It's not one thing. And to think that some people think that the government can only do one thing at one time. Carrie Lake tweeting out, free the people of Iran, free the people of Cuba, free the people of Venezuela, free the people. Wow. That's Carrie Lake out there saying that straight up. Is there any confirmation that this is indeed the United States? President Trump is the freedom president. All around the world, people live better lives because of his leadership. That's absolutely true. Perhaps except the Canadians, but the Canadians don't like Trump, and it's because they've shot themselves in the foot to spite Trump, and that's really what's going on. So, that's pretty funny. It looks like that's their people in Spanish writing this. Nicolas Maduro activates the anti-aircraft artillery in defense of Venezuela. Obviously this isn't real. It's a joke. That's funny. Looking at more going on here. Okay, obviously refresh and see what's actually happening here. And also refresh on POTUS. Is there any news? There is no news from the President of the United States. Is there any news from the White House? There is no news from the White House or any confirmations on attacks in Venezuela. We're seeing more footage of what's going on here. Here we go. We're currently Bombing Venezuela, says this account, but that's not, again, not a confirmation. Now, in recent time, the U.S. military has been really encircling Venezuela and, well, definitely putting themselves out there. And obviously, with Operation Southern Spear, they have asserted themselves in the region. Now, does this make this what this is? An assault by the U.S.? We have no confirmation of this. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the Venezuelan government could pull this off. Was there a reason for that? Don't know. But let's see what's happening. Let's see if the Department of State, U.S. State Department spokesperson, are they saying anything? Nothing is being said right now about this. This is why this is such a strange circumstance. Normally, if the U.S. does pull a strike like this, they'll make an announcement soon after, right after it's been going on. But right now, that's not what's going on. Explosions were reported in Caracas, Venezuela on January 3rd, 2026, which President Maduro attributed to U.S. bombing. However, the U.S. government has not confirmed involvement in any strikes. So we've got some things being written about here. The New York Times jumping in here and saying, enjoy the ads. We don't want your patronage here. That's fine. We'll go check your competitors. Explosions. And yeah, okay, I'm running an ad blocker. Let's get rid of that so we can see some of that. Okay, pause on this site. Here we go. At least 7 explosions were heard, along with low-flying aircraft in Venezuela's capital city, Caracas, around 2 a.m. local time on Saturday. People in Venezuela's neighborhoods rushed into the streets. Some could be seen in the distance from various areas of Caracas. Trump administration officials said they were aware of reports of explosions and aircraft, sources told CBS News. But there was no immediate response to requests for the White House to comment as it comes in. AP News also with an article on it. We can go over that in a minute here, but let's see what else is brand new, what else is coming in on this situation in Venezuela. I've got same footage we were seeing before. So we're seeing some things to that effect. Now I'm gonna pop something else open here so I can check the actual what's happening right now. The reason why I can't show that, and I'll just be honest with you guys, a lot of people post lewd stuff in the what's happening immediately section of this. Yeah, if you go into the latest section, you might see things that are not good for YouTube, and that's exactly it. So Sky News reported that the home of the Venezuelan defense minister, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, in Caracas may have been the target of a bombing. The information has not been independently verified. So that's some news on that front. We can at least let that play and let you see that as we're looking into more of the latest, what's been happening. Also, unfortunately, a lot of this is in Spanish, so I'll get you what information I can as soon as I can, absolutely, as quickly as I can. But yeah, a majority of this is in Spanish, but I have I have Rudy, who's actually live streaming this now in Spanish. He'll be giving me more updates on the situation as it unfolds and as we get more information on what's actually happening. What do we have here? Villard saying the U.S. must not aggress against the Venezuela. The U.S. must make it known. Yeah, well, what are the EU gonna do about it? Sorry. Some people are, yeah. I mean, there's no confirmation that this actually was the United States at this point. So we are still kind of sitting here wondering what's happening. At least 3 spots have been hit. Okay, I got some more footage here, so I'll just bring that over to get on the screen. Oh, Fox News is now reporting on it, so let's have a look at that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Eric Shawn, a New Yorker, a channeling painter, and we have the latest news. The White House confirming, according to sources, that the United States is attacking Venezuela in a military operation in these early morning hours. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Eric Shawn, a New Yorker, a channeling.
Okay, so that's a confirmation from Fox that the White House has said that it is attacking Venezuela. And do we have anything from the White House on X? The White House is not saying this. There is nothing new here to be said, to read about, but Fox News is reporting that is in fact the case. Has Donald Trump made any announcement to this? No. There is nothing on that, but Fox News is reporting on this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Eric Shawn, a New Yorker, a channeling painter, and we have the latest news. The White House confirming, according to sources, that the United States is attacking Venezuela in a military operation in these early morning hours.
Okay, so that's them saying that. I'm gonna want better confirmation than just that. Well, we got a lot of the news agencies. They'll make confirmations without actually getting that confirmation. But I mean, neither here nor there. I just take it with a grain of salt, folks. Just to be honest, at least 3 spots have been hit. Fuerte Tiuna, I hope I'm pronouncing that even remotely close. La Carlota Air Base and a communications center in El Hatilio. Not sure if that's the correct way to say it. Probably is not. All of these controlled by government, heavily guarded military and strategic places for Maduro. This is Caracas, Venezuela right now, and have a look at this. Unbelievable.
¡Esa mierda, marico! ¡Mamá huevo! ¡Qué locura! Moscaí, Moscaí. Mira esa mierda, explotaron allá toda esa mierda, porque tú no estás explotando.
Mierda, marico, se prendió el peo en esta mierda, yo.
Huevo.
Wow.
Marico, llegamos a tiempo a la casa, yo.
Marico, mira esa mierda.
Wow, quite the scene. Quite the scene there. Here's some more footage. That's just an image. It looks like somebody took some sort of infrastructure or some sort of structure there that's being hit, being attacked at that time. Back to the White House, see if there's a confirmation. Fox News saying that there is confirmation, but I have not seen that except through Fox News, which, again, grain of salt, as always, folks. Grain of salt. Here we go. What's new here? To protest a possible U.S. airstrike on Venezuela, Twitter X has quietly modified the like button as unfair strike. What? No. Yeah. No, did not do that. Yeah, long live the people of Venezuela. Without communism, that would be nice. While New York's bringing in a flavor of their own. That's that's just the way things work. That's we got. Can we translate this? Who's he saying that to? That's the question. I can't. No, I can't tell. But more of the same footage. Here's a photo of what that place looks like. It's a detonation at a warehouse. So this is the warehouse. It appears was taken out in that strike. This strike here. That is spectacular. Holy cow. It is definitely something else. It's going down in Venezuela, and Nicolas Maduro is scared. It's time for this bus driver bum to leave forever. Isn't that the nature of dictators? They just don't like to walk away. They don't like to. No, not one bit. Not one bit. But it would be nice if we can get a bit more confirmation on some of this stuff here. What do we have? Explosions hit Caracas near military sites amid U.S. accusations. Let's see what we got here. So here's the news. Multiple blasts struck near the Fuerte Tiona military base, La Carlota Airport, and other sites in southern Caracas. La Guaria, maybe that's right, and Aragua, causing power outages and ground shakes captured on social media videos. Venezuela government accused the United States of a direct military attack to seize oil and minerals, prompting President Nicolas Maduro to declare a state of emergency and mobilize defenses. I thought he was already there with the state of emergency. I guess he's saying be a little bit more emergency. Mobilize defenses. OSINT account suggests that U.S. Chinook helicopters, but no independent verification exists. The Trump administration has not commented, while Colombia urged de-escalation and world leaders monitor the rising tension over U.S. anti-drug campaigns, which incidentally have been working, to say the least. I know I showed it earlier. I'll show it again. This is Joe Rogan talking about how those campaigns have been working.
It's been in office. Deaths by overdose have dropped off a cliff. Look at that. Look at 2024. And
wow.
leading into 2025.
Just
Look
going
at
down.
These are all deaths from overdoses. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, look at that. From all drugs, which is the top one, look at that drop. I mean, that's crazy. So you see the peak in was in 2022, or it looks like actually 2020, between 2023 and 2024. That's the peak where people are dying. And then from the time Trump's in office, It's taking a fucking sharp downturn. And
Yeah.
why is that? Well, part of it is because they're blowing up these fucking boats that are bringing in all the drugs. And not just drugs, but drugs that are tainted with fentanyl. From the time Trump's been in office,
Absolutely. It's been working. It's been working. Absolutely been working. And yeah, there's a lot of Rogan clips, but that's holy cow. Yeah. Fox News is saying this. What else is Fox News? Can Fox News substantiate that? Let's see. Explosions were reported in Venezuela.
Painter
Let's see what
live
they're
in
saying.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Chanley Painter live in New York. Explosions heard in Caracas, Venezuela overnight. And according to eyewitnesses, the southern area of Caracas near a military base is without electricity. Airplanes are also reportedly heard in the skies over the Venezuelan capital, and columns of smoke can be seen in several areas. And according to the Associated Press, at least 7 explosions in low-flying aircraft have been heard.
And that's what they've got. That's what they've got. So we'll keep you posted on more. See what else other people are posting about, and see what's happening. Well, we got trending. Venezuela's trending. Iran is trending for some reason. New York team. Yeah, lots of different things here. Let's have a look. U.S. confirms. See if anything comes up with that. So this is the statement from Maduro's regime, and Maduro's regime is confirming that's a U.S. Reuters confirms the U.S. What's Maduro's team saying? It's in Spanish, but we'll get a translation of that when Rudy gets back on the show. Wow, holy cow. That is some footage right there. Wow, incredible. Incredible. Shocking. U.S. troops and jets strike Caracas, explosions, but we don't know that for sure. We're getting confirmations. Who are we getting these confirmations from is the question.
Vas a ver un incendio, pero una vaina. Oye, marico, oye algo está pasando. Vas a ver un incendio, pero una vaina. Oye, marico, oye algo está pasando. Vas a ver un incendio, pero
That is
una vaina.
huge. Unreal. And we just saw that footage there. Unbelievable. What do we got happening in the chat here? There goes Canada's chance at getting an oil deal worked out. Oh, funny. That's really hilarious. Here we go. USA is gaining strength. Peace through strength. Most Venezuelans support this. That's the consensus that I'm hearing. There are not a lot of Venezuelans that are keen on being under communist rule any longer. No matter who's running the show, they want to go back to a free society. That would be nice. A lot of people really miss the benefits of capitalism when capitalism goes away. They tend to gripe about it. You get all the the AOCs and the Bernie Sanders and all this other really, and Mamdani making a real name for themselves. And then every time socialists get their way, it all goes to shit real fast. And there you are, where this is what Venezuelan people are cheering on. They're cheering this on to get rid of the regime. Is this real footage from the thing? Breaking: U.S. President Donald Trump has conducted a precision strike on... Oh, no, this is footage of Nigeria. So that's a confirmation of what they did in Nigeria only a few days ago on Christmas, just last week. But nothing on the U.S. confirming what actually went down in Venezuela today as of yet. But let's keep looking. Donald Trump not tweeting anything out at this point. The White House, still no news from the White House. That's where we're at with that. But let's see what's happening. By the way, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm just saw this happening, just finished a live stream, decided to pop right back in and pop another live stream up so people could see what's going on. Who's this gaze for Trump saying they're going after Maduro, according to Bricksuit. Bricksuit apparently chiming in on this. That would explain the Chinooks in the air over Venezuela. Pray for our men and women in harm's way. Support the troops. What is Bricksuit saying? Let's have a look at what Bricksuit is talking about. Bricksuit, funny dude. It's on like Donkey Kong. Maduro should have taken the buyout. Pray for our troops. Total speculation. He says, yeah, it is speculation at this point. We don't know. We don't know just yet, other than what Fox News is saying. So this is the only news of this that I'm getting is from Fox News at this point, saying that it was confirmed. I can try some of the other news sites, see what they're saying. But Fox News, are they elaborating more on what they originally said? Not just yet. That's about as far as it goes for that. U.S. confirms. Confirms nothing. Not at this point. This is unusual. If this is the United States, to not say something about it, to not put it out, that they're in fact the ones to conduct this strike. So typically in a case like this, you would get news very quickly because people would be searching about it, seeing what's actually going on. Media is not reporting. Shocker. Just for fun, let's see what CNN is saying. Let's go with CNN breaking news. What do they got for us? Are they breaking any news to us? 59 seconds ago, they got to it 59 seconds ago. Explosions rock Venezuela. Maduro government accuses U.S. of carrying out a military aggression. Follow live updates here. What live updates are we going to get? Sorry, a little too wide for the screen on this one. Let's, can't do anything about that. Venezuela accuses U.S. of grave military aggression as explosions rock Caracas. We don't have confirmation yet. And if there was confirmation, if CNN had confirmation, they would confirm it because they would immediately go after Trump and say that it was unjustified or all this other stuff. Caracas CNN team witnessed several explosions and heard the sounds of aircraft early Saturday in the Venezuelan capital, Caracas. and reported that some of the areas were without electricity. Venezuela's government condemned what it says was a very serious, grave military aggression by the U.S. against multiple parts of the country after the explosions were reported in Caracas and in other locations. It accused the U.S. of carrying out an attack on Caracas and the state of Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaira, and said President Nicolas Maduro had signed a state of emergency again, I guess, and ordered all national defense plans be implemented at the appropriate time and under the appropriate circumstances. CNN has reached out to the White House, the State Department, and the Pentagon and U.S. Southern Command for comment on the explosions. The Pentagon and Southern Command referred inquiries to the White House. The White House has not yet responded to CNN's request. The blast, witnessed by the CNN team, was recorded at approximately 1:50 a.m. local time. One was so strong, my window is shaking after it. Correspondent Osmary Hernandez. Several areas of the city were without power, and CNN journalists, they still call themselves that, by the way. They still call themselves journalists. In the Venezuelan capital, could hear the sound of aircraft after explosions. The cause of the explosion was unclear. I'm sorry, I have to do it because every time I hear about CNN and journalism, I always think of one clip. Which is my favorite. And it's muted. What reason? Don't know why, but this clip.
You're not even a real journalism. That's right.
That's right, CNN. You're not even a real journalism, but you are. We're checking you out. We're seeing what you're actually up to on this evening, as you're not really reporting on much, but this is the case. We're going to go through this again and see if Donald Trump has tweeted anything out, if there's any sort of public announcement of any sort. The White House, which everyone else is deferring to, is not tweeting out any information on this. Pentagon, clearly, you would assume the Pentagon would have something. Do we actually have the Pentagon? Too many people calling themselves the Pentagon. Here we go. The Pentagon, with nothing, no information on this. That's a lot. That says more than anything in this case. This is kind of bizarre, to be honest, that the U.S. would conduct a strike like this and not immediately make an announcement to the American public of what is going on, what they were doing. Who's reporting this? News. The story is a summary of X posts and may evolve over time. U.S. airstrikes target Venezuelan military sites amid Maduro accusations. Now, there is no confirmation yet, except from Fox News. So my question is, Fox News, give us a little more information. More than just this little clip. And it's not even pinned. That's their most recent post. Oh, no, here we got something new. Yeah, okay, this is coming up new.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Eric Shawn in New York. We're at Chanley Painter, and we have the latest news. The White House confirming, according to sources, that the United States is attacking Venezuela in a military operation in these early morning hours.
Yeah, no. That's the same clip. That's not a new clip. They're putting that out there, but what do they got? What do they got? Give us a bit more than that, Fox News. We'd like to know. It would be interesting to us, to say the least. Could be interesting. Could be. But yeah, nothing from the Pentagon. What are some of the other agencies saying? Let's go with MSNBC. They must have a breaking news. No, just daily news. Okay, that cracks me up. That cracks me up. You search MSNBC, it says people to follow. You got MSC Daily. MSNBC is garbage. And then right after it's news, it says Fox News leads 2025 cable ratings with record growth. Come on, really? That's funny. Like, talking about like who's better than you, it comes up. That's hilarious. MSNBC, total trash. I don't. They have anything new? Let's go to CBS News. Do they have CBS breaking? Oh, you can check out CBS News. I don't know if they have a breaking segment of it. Pinned from January 1st, and 6 hours ago is their most recent, about a person being stalked by a mountain lion. I mean, I get it. There's nothing else to talk about. Come on. A close call with a mountain lion. Welcome to CBS News, where we talk about everything except the big stories that are happening in America today, like fraud that's rampant across the country, and perhaps what's happening in Venezuela. Come on. Sorry. I get it. A big cat. It's scary. It's scary, but like, really? Do they even have anything about what's going on with... Oh, here's a story in Ohio. Police in Columbus, Ohio are searching for clues after a dentist and his wife were found shot. Wait a second. No, yeah, not Somalians. Deadly fire tore through Swiss ski resort. Okay, yeah, that was international news. Wow. Okay. I guess they don't really care about what's happening in America. This is why I stopped. Wow. Who just bought CBS again? Is the question in the chat. I don't know. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. We got the bombing probably didn't start at the time of those stories. No. But there was, what I'm saying is there was other big stories that were happening already. I bet you they're not even reporting on any of the Somali stuff. That's just unreal. All right, here we go with AP News. That's AP Business. Come on, give me your AP official news. That doesn't look like official AP. Associated Press, here we go. Yeah, not interested in that. I want to go here. Breaking. Okay, here's some news based on this. That's Denver Airport. It's 7 explosions and low-flying aircraft were heard around 2 a.m. local time in Venezuela capital. And here's another one. Breaking. FAA bans U.S. commercial flights in Venezuelan airspace over ongoing military activity ahead of explosions in the capital, Caracas. The Pentagon and White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So what's actually going on here, folks? Is this the U.S. at all? Is this actually the U.S. at all? I'm like actually feeling pretty doubtful at this point. That's really strange. If the U.S. did this, they would absolutely be taking credit for it. I don't see why they wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense to me. Sowing seeds of doubt is what's happening here. Now, a lot of people wouldn't complain if the U.S. actually did do that. A lot of people would complain, but those are the same people that complain about everything. A lot of Venezuelans have been asking for U.S. intervention, and this has been a big part of this. Unfreaking believable. What else have we got here? Have we got anything from... Doubt we'll get anything else here. Oh, developing. Multiple explosions light up the skies of Caracas, Venezuela. U.S. officials tell Fox News the U.S. military has attacked Venezuela. Do you have anything other than that?
Amor. Ay, no. Mira eso. Mira eso.
People are whistling. Are they cheering? Is that what's happening? Again, breaking. So Fox News is the only people out here so far that I see are actually saying that it was the U.S. and that the U.S. is claiming that they did this. This is the Fox News so far, the only one. Breaking, Fox News is reporting that the U.S. officials have confirmed it is the most badass military laying waste to narco dictator regime. The toppling of Venezuela has started. Pray for our men and women.
We've been speaking over the last hour as this has been unfolding in Venezuela. We do now have confirmation that the U.S. military has been conducting strikes within the country of Venezuela. It is underway. I want to get your reaction now that we do have confirmation and whether or not you think Venezuela will respond.
Yes, well, I don't think Venezuela is going to be able to do much militarily. And while we don't know what these targets are, I'd say we've got one or two possibilities, either things directly related to the drug trafficking, to Maduro's money machine, but also quite possible that some of the targets included any potential air defenses, air surveillance, other legitimate military targets. And I think Venezuela's military would have very little chance of responding. That said, I know our U.S. forces are going to take all precautions necessary.
Absolutely. We are hearing some reaction as this confirmation of the... We've been speaking over the last hour as this has been unfolding.
This is really odd that this... Why would the U.S... Why would no one else confirm to anybody? Oh, I get it. I get it if they don't want to talk to all of the fake news media, but why not put it out on the White House Twitter account? That's strange to me. That's really strange. Is this post relevant to my search? No, of course not. Is this new footage? Wow, look at this. Whoa, okay, that was quite the scream. All right, well, lower that volume for everybody there. That is quite the scene on the ground there. people asking in the chat, take over Canada next. And Greenland. Fortress America. Yeah, my ears. Yeah, sorry about that. That was very loud. That was very loud. Breaking. Benny Johnson putting this out there. Breaking U.S. officials confirm they have carried out airstrikes in Caracas, Venezuela.
It is now being attacked by the United States, saying that the United States' effort is to take possession of minerals and oil. Lucas Tomlinson standing by at Mar-a-Lago with the very latest on this and the news, Lucas, that you're breaking, that the administration confirms this is an attack by the U.S.
Good morning, Eric. In a major escalation of the conflict between the United States and Venezuela, U.S. officials can confirm to Fox News that U.S. military strikes have been launched against Venezuela early this morning. We've seen for a few hours now these scenes of explosions in Venezuela's capital of Caracas against U.S. military targets. Officials say the U.S. military launched this attack on Venezuela on the orders of President Trump. And we are awaiting a statement from the White House and a Truth Social post, perhaps, from the president confirming. But we've seen dramatic video in the last hour showing explosions in Venezuela targeting Nicolas Maduro's military sites. We've seen video of U.S. Army helicopters flying over Venezuela, and this all comes after this dramatic buildup of the U.S. military in the Caribbean in recent months. You had the aircraft carrier strike group USS Gerald R. Ford diverted from Europe. We've seen deployments of U.S. Air Force F-35 stealth fighter jets to Puerto Rico, including the Green Mountain Boys from Vermont. We've seen U.S. Marines training in Trinidad, just 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela, installing radar there. You've also seen almost daily shows of force from those Super Hornets aboard the Ford, flying off the coast in international airspace of Venezuela with their transponders on. What was notable tonight, Eric, is those transponders were off. We did not see any U.S. military aircraft squawking or at least identifying themselves publicly. Their presence was felt when these explosions were heard on the ground, Eric.
Unreal. I got my good friend Rudy from RudyCast. He's streaming this now, but it's all in Spanish.
Haya contraatacado exitosamente ninguno de los ataques de los Estados Unidos.
On the phone, we've been talking with Julian Epstein, Democratic strategist and former chief counsel with the House Judiciary Committee. And something, Julian, you said just rang.
Okay. Están todavía discutiendo el tema, ¿no? Debatiendo el tema. A ver acá, chequeando acá sus informaciones.
Yeah, so he's giving coverage about this in Spanish, filling people in. If you speak Spanish, understand Spanish, make sure you head over to RudyCast. RudyCast, great guy. He's been doing a lot of great stuff and getting a lot of this information out for a lot of people. I'll have him on the line here as soon as I can to fill us in on any new information that comes up, so we can share it out with the English-speaking audience, so everybody knows what exactly is happening over there. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. But again, hitting one over and over again, refresh on this. Not a lot of people, or sorry, no new posts from the White House. We only have Fox News making a declaration here. See if the other news agencies are even reporting on the report from Fox News. It doesn't seem like they are. CNN, yeah, of course, we've got Fox News adding more to this. Same footage and the same clip of them saying that they heard from the White House that this was in fact the U.S. conducting this strike. State Department spokesperson, not to be found online. We've got Donald Trump himself on his Truth Social, and not a peep on this. The last truth was from 2 days ago. Oh, I can't see his replies unless I make an account. But last truth was 2 days ago. Nothing new. Or his pinned one, sorry. 11 hours ago, his last truth on Truth Social, which is, of course, funny. Appreciate it, Mr. President. I love these. I love the social media of this new age is just off the chains. It's unbelievable. Love it. How much has this changed now? Still the same thing. U.S. strike hit Venezuelan military sites in Caracas amid escalating tensions. Venezuela government accused the U.S. of airstrikes on military and civilians in early Saturday, prompting President Nicolas Maduro to declare a national state of emergency and activate defense plans. U.S. officials confirmed to CBS News that President Donald Trump ordered the strike on military facilities following months of buildup, including 15,000 troops and 11 warships in the Caribbean. Power outages struck nearby neighborhoods, and international leaders like Colombia's Gustavo Petro condemned the action while calling for UN intervention. No casualties were confirmed as the situation is unfolding, or has unfolded. Just checking for updates there on that. Appreciate your patience on this one. But yeah, lots to be said. It's kind of a bizarre one that we don't have a confirmation from anyone but Fox News that this was carried out by the U.S. government. That's the only one. Yeah, we're off of that. Let's get into Venezuela. What is happening here? Not much new stuff. Just a breaking from Fox News. Never forget. What is this? MAGA voice here. We got something else coming in here. This is from... What news agency is this? China's special envoy meets Maduro. Okay, well, this is interesting. So this is some news that kind of makes it an interesting bit of timing, because it appears that Chinese nationals were visiting with the Maduro regime. Let's get a little close up on this one. The meeting at Miraflores Palace on Friday comes as Venezuela faces escalating tensions with Washington. Xi Zhaoqi, the special representative for Latin American and Caribbean affairs, led the Chinese delegation, which included Ambassador to Venezuela Lan Hu and other senior officials. RT reported. Russia Today, grain of salt. We'll see. Right? Very happy to greet you. Thank you. And thank President Xi Jinping for his brotherhood and his message as a strong leader to the world, Maduro stated at the meeting, alongside oil minister and Vice President Delcy Rodriguez. The Venezuelan government said the encounter served to consolidate the new multipolar world. It emphasized on unwavering nature of the relationship between Caracas and Beijing, because that seems like a very natural thing. Communist dictator that doesn't want, there's people want nothing to do with, and communist dictatorship across the planet. Yeah, of course. Just natural coalition there. Anyway, particularly in the face of unilateral coercive measures, as they called it, and pursuit of sovereign deployment for the nations of global south. Beijing has yet to release its readout of the meeting, but according to Caracas, Xiaoqi emphasized that China and Venezuela are strategic partners to the test, and that their relationship represents a valuable opportunity for the People's Republic. Give us that oil. Show support from China's followers. Russia's recent condemnation of U.S. actions in the region, as Moscow has reaffirmed its solidarity with Venezuela as it faces a naval blockade in the Caribbean. Might have some more news here in just a second. The U.S. has justified its military strikes on alleged drug trafficking vessels and the naval blockade of Venezuelan oil tankers. As a part of a campaign to dismantle what it describes as the Cartel de Los Soles, alleging links to Maduro's government, accusations Caracas has vehemently denied. Maduro said he's open to holding talks with the... See, if it really came down to, like, we're not with those drug guys, it's not us, we're totally not with them, wouldn't you just hand them over if they're in your territory? Hand them over. Say, oh, no, here you go. You can have them. Oh, boy. Maduro said his open talks with the Trump administration regarding drug trafficking and even Venezuela's oil reserves, but drew a firm line against what Caracas describes as attempts at extortion. The U.S. government knows, because we've told many of their spokespeople that they want to seriously discuss an argument to combat drug trafficking. We're ready, he said in an interview released Thursday. If they want oil, Venezuela is ready for U.S. investment, like with Chevron, whenever they want it, and however they want it. Isn't that this is hilarious, because there was U.S. companies invested in Venezuela, and it was the guy that handed Maduro the regime who nationalized it, stole the all of those people's investments, and just said, it's mine now. You think they're going to invest in a country that just had an election and just voted the guy out? He's like, yeah, no, I won. I actually won. Give me a break. Give me a break. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's not something. Okay, CBS News here. Reporting on this. U.S. launches military strike on Venezuela as Trump escalates pressure on Maduro regime. Sources says. They say. So apparently CBS News has a source that is saying that Trump is, in fact, taking credit for this. What to know about U.S. military strikes on Venezuela? President Trump ordered strikes on sites inside Venezuela, including military facilities, U.S. officials told CBS News, as the administration early Saturday ratcheted up its campaign against the regime of Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro. The strikes follow months of military buildup in the region, with the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier and numerous other warships positioned in the Caribbean. In recent weeks, the U.S. has seized 2 oil tankers off Venezuela launched by strikes. What do we got here? We got well, I just passed me by. Where are you? That is such a huge long name. Popping that in there for $5 says Trump is a hypocrite. We didn't ask for war, not with Ukraine, not one Venezuela. Well, we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how that all plays out. The Trump administration has accused Maduro of drug trafficking and working with gangs designated as terrorist organizations, which Maduro denied on Christmas Eve. Mr. Trump declined to say what his goal was, but cautioned that if Maduro plays through, it'll be the last time he ever be able to play through. Golf reference there. Unreal. Venezuela's government called on its supporters to take to the streets in the wake of the U.S. military strikes early Saturday. Are you kidding me? Venezuelan government declares a state of emergency, tells people to take to the streets. Is that an emergency thing that people do? Can you take to the streets in an emergency fashion? That doesn't make much sense to me. You got a response to that here saying, it's not a war. We're not attacking Ukraine or Russia. That's not a thing. Tip coming in from Just Blaze, bro. One New Zealand dollar. Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate that. Absolutely appreciate that. Beauty. So, yeah, Venezuelan, this is crazy. Venezuelan government declares a state of emergency, tells people to take to the streets. Venezuelan government called on its supporters to take to the streets in the wake of the U.S. military strikes on early Saturday. People to the streets, the statement said. The Bolivarian government calls on all social and political forces in the country to activate mobilization plans and repudiate this imperialist attack. The statement said President Nicolas Maduro had ordered all national defense plans to be implemented and declared a state of external disturbance. That state of emergency gives him the power to suspend people's rights and expand the role of the armed forces. They're going to expand the forces and they're going to limit more people's rights. Okay. They're you know, when the government's already taken all your rights away, it's kind of hard to say we're going to suspend civil liberties because they've been in a state of suspended civil liberties for ages. Venezuelan opposition leader has backed Trump's strategy. Here we go. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, I have to say it with that cadence, just sounds right, told CBS News in mid-December she was absolutely supportive of President Trump's strategy in the country. We, the Venezuelan people, are very grateful to him and to his administration because I believe he is a champion of freedom in his hemisphere. Machado said on Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan. At the time, the president's strategy was limited to attacks on suspected drug boats, the seizure of an oil tanker, and economic and diplomatic pressure, but not land strikes. Asked if she'd welcome U.S. military action in Venezuela, Machado did not rule that out, saying, I will welcome more and more pressure to that Maduro, so that Maduro understands that he has to go. Former lawmaker who was disqualified from running in Venezuela's 2024 presidential election, Machado was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize this year and collected the prize in Norway after a risky waterborne exit from Venezuela. She dedicated the prize to Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. That's amazing. Now, I've been learning a bit more about what's gone down in Venezuela. Maria Corina Machado was part of the government before all of this, before all of the socialist takeover, and she was actually one of the ones heading the program to confiscate people's guns. I wonder if she regrets that now. I think that should be something that needs to be talked about. I hope in the future, maybe I'd even get a chance to have a conversation with her, because I would love to ask her about that aspect of things. Because across the board, when you talk to people in Venezuela, they say, because people will say, why don't the Venezuelans step up and take over their own government and take over the thing? And the overwhelming consensus is that people are unarmed and they cannot do that. They cannot do that because they've been disarmed so long ago. And that's regrettable, absolutely regrettable in that situation. We got some more. What is this from New York Times? Wrong tab. Oopsie. Get that out of there. Get this one up. So this is from the New York Times. Live updates. U.S. military strikes Caracas, Venezuela. Says you're not gonna look at this because we want you to. Thanks, New York Times. Gotcha. This is another reason why people just tune out the mainstream publication. Who's buying a subscription to the New York Times when all they want to do is like, I'm not gonna read the New York Times, and then, oh, but you could, like, they want subscriptions going way back. It's just unbelievable. Sorry, it ain't working for you. It's not gonna work out. And subscriptions are falling all the time. Yeah, the FAA has banned. They have banned flights to Venezuela and over Venezuelan airspace. Absolutely good to know there, actually. Got some new stuff here. What have we here? Pentagon pizza index suddenly skyrocketing. What? 770% above normal at Papa John's near the Pentagon? That is funny. When did that happen? At what time did that occur? So for those that don't know, the Papa John or the pizza index. So the pizza index is if something is about to happen, usually militarily or some news story like that, a lot of pizzas will get ordered at the Pentagon. And so people watch out for the Pentagon ordering lots of takeout food. That's a thing. Yeah, Trump didn't post all day. Yikes. That's a thing. That's funny though. The pizza index. But let's get back to what we're looking at here. Venezuela, news on that. Judging by who's crying, Trump's strike on Venezuela was the right call. That's a take. Avi Yemeni. Okay, that's for sure. Everyone checking President Trump's Truth Social for an update on strikes on Venezuela are currently being greeted with this. Yeah, Chicago doesn't need help. We have everything under control. I love it. Oh, I love it. It's too good. What is this? Whatever. President Trump ordered the strikes. This is what's being reported all over the place. But again, we've only seen it reported by Fox. Of all the places that we could get it reported from. Fox News. Any new news on the subject? Nope, just the same footage of it going down. Crazy. What else have we got here? CNN, any breaking news? Sorry. Just, oh man, I'm not used to looking at it this way. Trying to get, seeing CNN reporting on anything, get them to report on anything, honestly. That's just something else. Again, I want to play this clip for people who weren't in the chat or hanging out here when I did. Even Joe Rogan's looking at Donald Trump as like, holy cow, he's actually doing the right thing.
From the time Trump's been in office, deaths by overdose have dropped off a cliff. Look at that. Look at 2024. And
wow.
leading into 2025.
Just
Look
going
at
down.
These are all deaths from overdoses. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy.
Like, look at that. From all drugs, which is the top one, look at that drop. I mean, that's crazy. So you see the peak in was in 2022, or it looks like actually 2020, between 2023 and 2024. That's the peak where people are dying. And then from the time Trump's in office, it's taking a fucking sharp downturn. And why is that? Well, part of it is because they're blowing up these fucking boats that are bringing in all the drugs. And not just drugs, but drugs that are tainted with fentanyl. From the time Trump's been...
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's have a look at the boats. Watch as, and they're not just blowing them up. Like, all of them aren't just getting blown up. Here's one. Watch as members of the U.S. Coast Guard leap on fleeing semi-submersible vessel in order to apprehend drug smugglers carrying 17,000 pounds of cocaine. Street value is $232 million. Unfreaking believable. Here they are doing their job. Semi-submersible. Crazy.
That's gonna be hard to get on.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh, that's all we get to see. They didn't show you the rest. Here's unclassified footage of some of the guys, just the fishermen that are just fishing. Right. I don't think there was anyone on that boat. I think that had been already they'd already jumped ship. U.S. Naval Task Force destroys another narco-terrorist drug boat loaded with cocaine, fentanyl, and en route to the USA. That's right. Here's another one. Marines doing their job, doing their thing. It's the old FAFO, they say. Here they are going really fast, dropping the crab traps, right? No, of course, those are not crab traps. 4 engines on the back of this boat. Dumping their load as to not have evidence of what it is that they're doing. And rocking a hard turn. Watch for it. Watch for them jumping off the ship. Here they go. Now they're jumping off. Abandoning the boat full of bad stuff. That's the way it goes. That's what they're doing. What's the caption on this? Update. Narco-terrorist drug boats travel at high speeds to a designated drop point for just part of the journey. Other drug boats then pick up the drugs out of the water for its final destination. Your neighborhood. Oh, okay. So it's not because they thought they were getting caught. This was Trump leading up to this, talking about the boats. Trump and Rubio, Marco Rubio, chiming in on this. Marco Rubio's a champ. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know if I was gonna like him that much, because I don't know. I just thought, oh, this guy, he's another Washington guy. No, he got on the admin. Man, he's been very impressive. Holy cow. That's our guy, Marco Rubio.
I mean, the question is, bottom line, these are drug boats. If people want to stop seeing drug boats blow up, stop sending drugs to the United States.
But does it matter if it's in the United States?
Well, these are all in international waters. The boat.
Do a strike in the United States, or if Northern.
Well, that's a different matter. Now you're talking about a law enforcement matter. In this particular case, there are people traveling on international waters headed towards the United States with hostilities in mind, which includes flooding our country with dangerous, deadly drugs, and they're going to be stopped. And that's what's happening. And in the case last week. I mean, the question is, bottom line, these are drug boats. If people want to stop seeing drug boats blow up, stop
sending it. That's exactly where they're at with it. Oh, boy. Schumer wrote the law making it illegal to blow drug boats out of the water in 1986. Let's see what this clip says.
This is the Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Act of 1986, authored by a member of Congress in 1986 from the state of New York. His name, Chuck Schumer. He wrote the law that passed almost unanimously that makes it legal to blow drug boats out of the water. It happened in the 80s a lot, in the 90s a lot. Go ahead.
Sorry, it makes it
Look
legal.
It up, folks. Chuck Schumer, the author of this bill that made what we're doing with Venezuelan drug boats fully legal. We don't need permission from the rest of the world. Chuck Schumer gave us that in 1986. This is the Maritime...
Ironic. Don't like what Trump's doing with the drug boats? It was Chuck Schumer that wrote that bill in 1986. That's hilarious. That's pretty funny, actually. Oh man, synthetic drug deaths, 2013 to 2023, 69% of the total from fentanyl. Yeah, okay. I'd assume no drug boats would be coming out of this port. Oh wow, 27 minutes ago. Here's some more footage of what was going on there. Crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Marco Rubio on the drug boats thing again. CBS shows narco trafficking vessel that was seized by the Colombian military carrying 4.5 tons of cocaine. It's a rare close look at an intact boat. The cargo was allegedly headed to Central America and some of it potentially the U.S.
It was seized just yesterday at around 6 p.m., just before 6 p.m., off the coast of the Caribbean by the Colombian military. It's why you can see it intact and full of evidence. It's not full of the evidence that you would expect, the cocaine, because the cocaine is all back here. We are getting a close look at 180 bags filled with 4.5 tons of Colombian cocaine that were seized yesterday in one of the biggest seizures that has happened off the Caribbean. This, what you're seeing here, is 2,500 gallons, approximately up to 2,500 gallons of cocaine, of gasoline rather, that is needed to power these big motors. This high-speed boat is the typical boat that you would see crossing the Caribbean or Pacific. They estimate that it was headed towards the Central America, and of course, ultimately carrying that cocaine to the United States. The difference is they don't explode the boat, they don't destroy the evidence, it doesn't go into the ocean. They seize it, they prosecute the people who are suspected of carrying that cocaine.
And then what do they
and in
do
many
with it?
cases, those people end up being extradited to the United States to spend a long time in prison, as it is proven in the case that it is, that cocaine was headed to the United States. But let me show you up close these 100.
Let me assure you, the authorities here in Colombia have told me that they're totally not going to do anything with that white powder that they've taken. Okay, yeah, I'm sure. You could trust them. Absolutely trust them along the way. For sure. No reason not to at all. All right. Anything else from the White House? Let's find out. Has there been any reporting? Yeah, who is that? Probably CNN. Yeah, enough with that. Venezuela Libre. There's a lot of people saying, is this the moment of liberty? Maduro offers U.S. talks on drugs and oil amid Caracas explosions. Hey, can we talk about it? You think we can talk about it now? That's wow. In a New Year's interview on state TV. Oh, okay, that was not as it was happening. Not as it's happening. Boy, oh boy. A lot of people cheering this on, but we'll see. We'll see how this actually goes and what ends up happening because of it. We got news from NTN 24. Can I get a translated version of this? Yeah, it's not coming up. That's weird because it usually comes up with an offer to translate it. Can you translate? Translate to English. There we go. U.S. media outlets claim that Donald Trump ordered attack on sites inside Venezuela. So far, that's Fox News. Early Saturday morning, January 3rd, explosions were reported at military stations in Caracas, Miranda, Aragua, Nueva Esparta, and La Guiara. Maybe I'm saying that right. U.S. military outlets, CBS and Fox News reported amid the multiple explosions and overnight overflights that have occurred in Caracas that President Donald Trump ordered the attacks on the sites in Venezuela. President Trump ordered attacks on sites in Venezuela, including military installations, U.S. officials told CBS News. The administration intensified its campaign against the regime early Saturday, CBS reported. Early Saturday morning, January 3rd, explosions were reported at military stations in Caracas. I'm not going over the names again. After 2 a.m. fights, explosions, fire, and power outages were reported in some areas of Caracas. One of the sites where explosions occurred at the La Carlota Air Base in the heart of Caracas. Explosions have been reported in many places, many of these different places. In a statement, the Nicolas Maduro regime blamed the United States for the explosions that occurred in the early hours of Saturday, January 3rd. The Bolivian Republic of Venezuela repudiates, and denounces before the international community the very serious military aggression perpetrated by the current government of the United States of America against Venezuelan territory and population in the civilian and military locales of the city of Caracas, capital of the republic, and the states of Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaria, the regime stated. In the statement, the regime also claimed that the objective of this attack is none other than to seize Venezuela's strategic resources, particularly its oil and minerals. These are the claims. Explosions in Venezuela. Okay, a few different articles, all from the same outlet. Maduro regime blames the United States for the explosions in Caracas and other parts of Venezuela. That he does. But have we heard that from the source? Fox News says yes. CBS is saying yes at this point. Very strange that they could just tell the American people. So, is this China went to Venezuela to meet Maduro today and bombs them the same day. So, this was the meeting. This was the meeting with the Chinese officials.
Qué bueno verte. Me traes muy buenos recuerdos. Feliz año. Feliz año. Este es el año del caballo, ¿verdad, Salvador? Ah, usted es caballo. Yo soy tigre. Tú. Ah, tanto tiempo. Yo lo conocí a él muy joven. Muy joven. Hace 20 años. Hace 20 años.
Okay, enough of that audio. Let's see what the chat's saying. What's this? Since when is defending your country becoming pathetic and cowardly? I'm not even American. I support that operation. Okay. I don't think it's, I guess you're responding to other people in the chat. We have a bunch of lunatics in charge of the world's well-being. I hope you all right-wing wackos are happy with your BS. Oh, for one second, I thought you were on our side here because you were talking about lunatics that are in charge of the world's well-being, like lunatics like Xi and, I don't know, Mark Carney in Canada and Maduro and Scheinbaum, but whatever. Yeah, you can have your thing. Yeah, a lot of this sentiment at the moment with this one. I heard that Russia got the hell out of Venezuela. Where did you hear that from? I'd like to find that information, if that's accurate. This is the year of the horse? Is that a Chinese thing? I have no idea. Tap like button up top. Yeah, hit that like button, folks. I haven't even been paying attention to that because I've been so busy paying attention to all this stuff. Don't forget to hit that like button, folks. Get on over there. Hit that like button. Lots of USAs. He's got China welcome with a laughing emoji. Yeah, of course. I think most Americans are willing to let this slide. Judging by the way Trump has operated, let's just be honest here. The way Trump's operated, they said it was going to be World War III. You know, he made strikes in Iran. Here we go. Now it's regime change. They're going to be in there forever. Oh, but he just did the strategic strikes and then they were out. I don't think Trump is jumping in on a giant full-scale 2-decade war thing. I don't think he has any interest in that kind of thing. And if it takes a few strikes to set the stage right, if that's what's happening, oh, I love that. No guar. Not guar. The best way to have not guar is to is for Maduro to step down. I mean, for the benefit of the Venezuelan people. This is the reality of the situation. No guar. I like Guar the band, but there you go. There's the no Guar guy. No Guar.
War, not war. Just peace, just peace, just peace. Forever, forever, forever. Peace forever. Not war, not war.
I want to keep my regime forever, forever, forever. Cocaine boats forever, forever, forever. Fentanyl shipments to America forever, forever, forever. It's crazy. This guy's nuts. Not Guar.
Not war, not war, not war. Just peace, just peace, just peace. Forever, forever, forever. Peace forever. Not war.
Oh, too good. Too money. Too much funny-ness there. Anyway, back to the... Trump stealing gas. Oh, no. Forever deportations. Oh, boy. What is this? No Guar, a dictator forever. He looks like Saddam. He does. He actually does. He looks like Saddam. Oh, that's too funny. Go to Truth Social. Is there an update? Have you seen an update? Because this is what greets you on Truth Social right now. Close that. There is no new statement on Truth Social. Wait, there is. There we go. Here's Donald Trump on Truth Social. Wow, okay, there it is, breaking. 4 minutes ago, the United States of America has successfully, sorry, I pull that off the top here. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale attack against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been long, with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. I was not expecting that. Holy cow, folks. Okay, so, wow, that is huge. Okay, not only is he saying that yes, and making a confirmation that the U.S. did carry this out, but not only that, strategically pulled Nicolas Maduro out of there along with his wife. They've been captured and flown out of the country. That is something else, folks. Whoa, that is a big one right there. Big news. Holy crap. Okay, we're tweeting that out. We're tweeting this one out right away. Okay, on to Twitter. No Guar. Let's go back to, let's throw this up on the thing. Breaking. President Trump confirms that the attack on Venezuela was conducted by the and that Maduro and his wife have been captured and removed from the country. Wild. There you go. There's that. Unbelievable. Cole jumping in there with a super chat saying for $5, that's my president. USA. USA. Wow, that is crazy news. That is absolutely insane news. Now, did that show up on the White House? Let's double check the White House. Unreal. No, just on True Social. Yeah, you only find that on True Social. What a crazy thing. So for people who are just tuning into this right now, the United States has just confirmed that the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, 47, has just confirmed that the United States was behind this attack on Venezuela. And I'm going to read this out again. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale attack against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. That is unfreaking believable. That's unbelievable. I did not expect that kind of news coming out of this situation. Like I did expect at some point probably it would be confirmed that it was the United States. I did not think for a second that I did think that at some point it would come out that, you know, Nicolas Maduro was terrified and escaped, or by some happenstance was killed in this thing. No. Precision strike. Got him. Pulled him out. Yoinked him out. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, this is crazy news. This is absolutely crazy news. I've been trying to see if I could get Rudy back on, but Rudy is probably checking some of the news the same as me. I want to get his reaction to this, though. Absolutely. Get his reaction to this Truth Social. Unbelievable. I need to get your reaction, Rudy. Have you got a moment for a call? Let's see if he replies to that. But yeah, Rudy Cast, my Venezuelan buddy, who's been, leading up to this, he's been on, making live shows, podcasts, all kinds of stuff about this. I'm sure he's wrapped up pretty tight on this one, but we'll see if he responds so I can get the reaction, because I'd like to see how more people from Venezuela are reacting to this, because that is something it's just absolutely insane. Another one of my Venezuelan buddies, I just gotta say this. Have you heard the news that Trump did order the strikes and that they captured Maduro and his wife? I gotta see the reaction to this. This is unbelievable. look at that. Got lots of people. Go Trump. That is probably one of the most impressive things I've heard about in a very long time. People are going to remember this for a long time. What? They actually extracted a dictator from a country? They didn't just go in there. It wasn't like some Saddam Hussein botched whatever the heck that was, or, you know, many other cases like this. No. Precision strike and got the unelected dictator out. Pluck. Like an ingrown hair. Holy cow. That is unbelievable. USA rocks. Now, let that be a warning to the Liberals if they want to take an unelected majority in Canada. Just think about that one. Just think about that one before you just get MPs to cross the floor to get an unelected majority. Just think about that, because that's what's happening in Canada, by the way, for people who don't know. The Canadian Parliament, who lost in an election, have been slowly bribing, what I believe is to be bribing members of Parliament to cross the floor and join the party, the Liberal Party, so that they could have a Liberal majority and basically pass whatever draconian laws they want to, whatever craziness that it is that they do. Unfreaking believable. I really cannot believe what I'm reading. This just occurred. That is unbelievable. Of course, you're going to have the people in the chat saying Trump's a terrorist. What are you talking about? Trump just got rid of a dictator that the people of the country couldn't get rid of. And precision-like pulled him out like an ingrown hair. It's unbelievable. Pick on somebody your size. Okay. How about a population that's disarmed and has a dictatorship over them? That's about right. Does it have to be like there is no size close to America? What are you talking about? It's crazy. I bet you there are tons of people who are cheering this on from Venezuela. I really want to hear people's take on this. Did you see Trump's Truth Social post? He confirmed that it was the United States and that they captured Maduro and his wife and pulled them out of the country. Trying to get in touch with Rudy. I want to see his reaction to this whole thing. I'd like to see how this plays out. Unbelievable with this post. Really, really unbelievable. What do you even say to that? It's just wow, crazy. So why don't we check out, see how some people are reacting to that breaking news. Wow, only 2 comments so far. Impressive. Huge news. Absolutely huge. That's what you get. It's incredible. Incredible news. What we got here? We've got a super chat from RC Lamoureux. Thanks for the $2. He says Carney bought himself a one-way ticket to hell. Oh, yeah. I mean, what happens to him after when he meets his creator? That's up to you know, him and God. I don't want to wait till then. I want him out. I'd like to see him out. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I just want him to ride off into the sunset and never come back. That's how I feel about that. USA is offensive country. Okay. Bro, you seem like you're on coke. I don't know. You tell me. What's it like? What's it like? Oh, I'm on soda water. I don't have access because we blew up all the boats, remember? FAFO, a lot of FAFOs. Unreal. Okay, we got lots in the chat. Holy cow, folks. Unbelievable. That is crazy news. If you're just tuning in, I want to break this news to you, folks. If you're just tuning in, haven't heard this yet, Donald Trump confirming that the strikes in Venezuela were in fact carried out by the United States. In a statement on Truth Social, Donald Trump says this, as it reads: the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So what's come in, what we see here is that there was a surgical strike. This was a surgical strike. I'm guessing there were a few compounds that needed to be taken out, and then an attack at whichever compound Maduro happened to be at with his wife, and a team had to have gone in and extracted the two of them. I'm guessing lots of armed guards. There's going to be books written about this day in the future. Imagine that kind of operation. Just imagine that kind of operation. You can't just fly into a dictatorship where they've been boasting about how much military protection, all this stuff they've got. And he's been, going on there saying no guar. And precision strike, extract the guy and his wife alive. That is just unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. I just cannot believe it. That is so damn impressive. That is so impressive. It's not even funny. Let's see what people are saying about the strike on Venezuela. Paul on X saying President Trump announces a successful U.S. military strike on Venezuela. Laura Loomer posting it up there. President Trump just released his statement about U.S. airstrike on Venezuela. He says Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro and his wife have been captured and flown out of the country. The United States of America has successfully carried out large-scale strikes against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. Unbelievable. The same day that he met with Chinese officials. The same day. Well, I guess into the morning on the next day. Reminder that Venezuela has deep ties to the Islamic regime in Iran and Hezbollah. They coordinated drug trafficking to the U.S., killing over 70,000 Americans. Maduro is an evil man, and it's time for him to pay for his crimes. So perhaps that's where they took him. Or perhaps he's in Guantanamo. I don't know. And we'll be finding out tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. That's 11 a.m., I'm guessing, Eastern time zone. That is crazy. Somebody explaining to someone else in the chat, Jess, it's over. It was a strike and Trump removed Maduro with precision and speed. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can you believe that? It's just, wow. What an impressive feat. Like, wow. Again, I'm saying there are going to be books written about this. The guys on the team that pulled this off, unbelievable. Cracked Craig giving a 99-pound super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm sure it's like way early in the morning for some people over on the... I'm guessing that's Great Britain? Or is that a different sign? Was that not pounds? But, yeah. I'm on the West Coast, and it's late at night. So this is different. Unreal. Kayla McKinney saying President Trump on the Venezuela strike. Terrace K. Williams, President Trump just released a statement regarding the strike against Venezuela. By the way, if you're new here and you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Do videos on YouTube every single day. Got lots of shorts coming out and morning reports. So, yeah, become part of the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Everyone checking President Trump's yeah, True Social. That was funny, though. That was great. Chicago doesn't need help. We have everything under control. It's on fire. And fat cats eating up their burgers. See what else new is popping up on this one. Yeah, President Trump announcing a successful U.S. military strike. Isn't that incredible? How that played out? How quickly does this catch up? U.S. launches strikes on Venezuela. Trump claims Maduro captured. That's just unbelievable. I still can't get over that. Venezuela is leering. Oh, my God. Oh, man. They're just about to leer a lesson for sure. Oh, that's funny. I'm taking that. Oh, that's way too funny. I'm going to tweet that out right now. Venezuela is leering. That is too funny. I had to tweet it right away. U.S. forces struck military targets in Venezuela capital early Saturday, including Fuerte, Tiuna, and La Guaira port, confirmed by U.S. officials. President Trump announced the operation on social media, stating forces captured President Nicolas Maduro and his wife with the White House press conference planned at Mar-a-Lago. Venezuela's government decried the strikes as an aggression aimed at oil and minerals, activating defenses and declaring a state of emergency amid reports of power outages and aircraft overhead. The action follows months of U.S. pressure over drug trafficking and foreign ties, drawing sharp reactions from regional leaders and splitting opinions online. Now, the crazy part is Nicolas Maduro was able to put out a lengthy statement about the attack, but yet he was captured during that attack. So what happened there? Because that's got me interested. I'm really curious about this. Maduro statement. So the Maduro regime released a statement blaming the U.S. for the military strikes. The Bolivian Republic of Venezuela rejects, repudiates, and denounces before the international community the grave military aggression perpetrated by the current government of the United States of America against Venezuelan territory, its population, and the civilian military areas of Caracas and the capital of the Republic and the states of Miranda, Aragua, and lists them off. The act constitutes a flagrant violation of the Charter of the United Nations, especially Articles 1 and 2, which enshrine respect for sovereignty, the legal equality of states, and the prohibition of the use of force, such as, I don't know, sending drugs into other people's country. Such aggression threatens international peace and stability, specifically in Latin America and the Caribbean, and seriously endangers the lives of millions of people. It wouldn't if Maduro just stepped down. No. The objective of this attack is none other than to seize Venezuelan strategic resources, particularly its oil and minerals, attempting to forcibly break the nation's political independence. They will not succeed. After more than 200 years of independence, the people and their legitimate government remain steadfast in defense of sovereignty and the inalienable right to determine their own destiny. No mention of detaining and extracting the president, Nicolas Maduro, the illegitimate president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. That's crazy. Bro, but if you see the videos, you don't see trails of any missiles. I saw some videos with trails of missiles. Imagine if China says no one in America has to die unless president steps down. But that would be if the president was holding power after losing an election. And that was provable. Actually, that could have happened under Biden. They might have said that. Oh. Trump, concentrate on your own problems like homeless. Keep out of other countries' affairs. Where did all these TDS soy tards come from? I don't know. Maybe we're doing really good on YouTube right now, and that's what happened. Maybe we're on some trending list because I know there's a lot of views going on right now. That's crazy. So, this is a movie, USA. This is like something out of a movie. Oh my God, have you seen the breaking news? Yeah, we broke it. Yeah, we absolutely broke that. We're on that. For people who are just tuning in, because I know there's a lot of people coming in and out of here. I've been reporting on this since we first understood that it happened. I actually finished a live stream earlier in the night, and then this started happening, so I was like, oh, screw this, I'll do another live stream, and fired up this live stream, and holy cow, we've been following the story right until the point, and someone in the chat said, check Truth Social, because I was monitoring the Truth Social as it was happening. But for those that are just tuning in, Donald Trump did make an announcement after Fox News was the first to report that they heard from the White House that it was confirmed that it was the United States that did this. And then it was after that, it was CBS that made a confirmation, and none of the other ones made a confirmation. I mean, CNN they're not getting out of bed. They're not getting out of bed for this. They know that they don't have to, because they don't have to report on the news. They just report on the narrative. There's a difference there. And when you report on the news, you try to figure out what's happening as it's happening. When you report on a narrative, you already know what to say. You just adjust it as it happens. But yeah, Donald Trump confirming on Truth Social post says the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale attack against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That is just crazy news. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Absolutely crazy. Really, really something else. Something else on that one. So yeah, we're finding it out as it's happening and as we're getting the words. And that regime is gone just like that. That's right. That's right. Just like that. What's this? If you're against this, then you are an idiot. Getting rid of Maduro is the best. That's amazing. And what was I saying? What was I saying before? I was expecting, and I said before this news announcement came out that, yeah, I don't expect, if it was the United States, before this was a confirmation, I was saying, I don't expect that if this is the United States that pulled off this strike, that they're going to then go in and it's going to be a big, long, everlasting conflict. People have been saying that about Trump and military actions that he's taken for a long time. In fact, they've been saying that he's going to cause World War III, when in fact, there's like 9 countries that are no longer at war because of Donald Trump and his actions. That's amazing. Now, his strike in Iran, same deal. Surgical strike, take out the thing that they said that they were going to get rid of and they never got rid of, and they no longer have it. They no longer have it. Look what's happening in Iran right now. People are revolting against the government. They are taking back Iran. That's good news. I like to hear this. I know a lot of Persians that I've grown up with, that I've known here in North America, that have always, they call themselves Persians because they don't want to be associated with what's going on in Iran. This is the reality of the situation. So, of course, people are excited when they see that what Trump's administration did. They didn't start a forever war with Iran. They went in with a surgical strike. Get rid of the nuclear facilities. That was the goal. They did that. Now it's up to the Iranian people. Here we are in a situation where Donald Trump has ordered a precision strike on Venezuela to do what? To do what the election should have done last year. The election should have taken Maduro out of his position of power so that the Venezuelans can have their country back. Let's hope that this is exactly what happens now. I mean, without the dictator, what have you got? What have you got? And this is great news for lots of Venezuelans that would like to take back their country. So many people want their country back, but they're afraid of the dictator and what he might do. Now, does this create a power vacuum for a short period of time? That's yet to be seen. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This guy's a sleeper and he believes the narrative. I think you believe the narrative, pal. You don't see you don't see with your eyes what's happening. The narrative you've been fed from CNN, from ABC, MSNBC. And I'm the guy that believes the narrative. Open your eyes, man. See what's actually happening. Talk to people on the ground. Talk to people. I know a lot of Venezuelans right now that are excited about this. Absolutely, absolutely excited. Yeah, sorry, bro. I'm live on TikTok and YouTube with people, with some guests. Okay, looks like Rudy's got some guests going on. He's look at this. So this is the reaction from real Venezuelans. They're excited. Don't tell me for a second that I've got the narrative, that I don't know what I'm talking about. Get lost. Okay. Okay, just asking him, now a good time. Look how excited Rudy is. He looks like he's singing. I gotta get the audio on for this. He's listening. Okay, the anthem. That's amazing. This is so good. Oh my goodness. This is way too good. That's the kind of celebrations you get. So this is the sort of celebrations that you're seeing from real Venezuelans, people who are patriotic about the country of Venezuela, not what you're gonna get from a bunch of liberals right now. I guess this is the new Leering Center. Yeah, that's right. Unbelievable. I'm so happy for Venezuelan people. That's really awesome. So awesome for everybody. That's amazing. I'm hoping to get Rudy on after this. Oh wow, they got a long ass anthem, don't they? Wow. It's a whole concerto. I understand why he's so excited though. That's amazing. I wish I understood the lyrics to the song. There you go, proud peeps. That's right. It seems like a vacuum of power happening over there, brother. Yeah, and that I'm concerned about that, but I think there's enough. Okay, hopefully I can get Rudy on after. He's excited, man. That's really cool. I'm gonna keep this on in the background just because he's so excited. But yeah, absolutely. Concerned about a power vacuum. Could there be a power vacuum to come in right away? How confident would those people that want to get into power be of usurping power at this moment of time? How dangerous is that for some despot, some would-be despot, to come in and just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna seize the power right now, and then that's it. I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna take it from you." Hopefully, Rudy's available here in a second, and I can get his call. I want to get his immediate reaction of the news of what took place, what went down, because this is just unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Hopefully he gets the message. I got you on in the background on my stream. I want to get your reaction to the news. See if he comes in. Oh my goodness. I'm sure his stuff's going off the chains right now. Absolutely going off the chains. So many people tuning in. He reports in Spanish, but if I get him on the phone, he'll be speaking in English to tell us his reaction to what's going on over there. And I want to get maybe some, he's talking to people right now, and what kind of reaction they're having over there. They took him out in 2 hours. That's fast. No kidding. That's why I said there's gonna be books written about this from those special forces when it's all said and done. That is a mission. Holy cow! I had no idea that was actually even possible. Wait, what happened? What happened? Well, let's get into this. So there was strikes. There were strikes on Venezuela, and we waited some time. I was reporting on it for a couple hours there, and Trump finally put out an announcement, and I'll read you this announcement right here. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. That is absolutely insane. I couldn't expect anything like that. I expected, okay, cool, that's great. If they went and attacked and they got, if Maduro went on the run or whatever, we weren't sure what was happening. It took a while before there was any confirmation of what went down. But then this was beyond my wildest imagination. I didn't even know that an operation like this could be possible, where they would go in to a dictator's compound, and move in. What kind of security did he have? What sort of details did he have? Or did his security just say, screw it, we want to free Venezuela too? What was the result of this? What sort of occurrence happened? We're all curious. And of course, tomorrow we're going to get a Donald Trump hearing. It's going to be, is this going to be a he died like a dog sort of stuff? Of course, Maduro didn't die, in reference to when they took out one of the Al-Qaeda leaders. But what kind of story are we going to get? Are we going to get details of how they moved in and actually extracted a dictator and his wife alive? I guess. I mean, it says captured. I don't think that they were killed. We don't know. But I think that would be in there. That would be put in there. This is crazy. Someone saying he was elected. He was not elected. And that's pretty much a consensus everywhere now. And it was because of the great work of the Venezuelan people to keep track of all of the ballots during the last election. It was actually an amazing thing that they pulled off, especially under a dictatorship. So the scrutineers, the people who were keeping track, they kept the numbers of the votes at every station. And they moved those numbers out, even though everything was taken from them. They managed to smuggle out the numbers, meet at another place, and tally the votes and see what the discrepancy between the government's vote tally and what the people voted for. And it was completely off. And of course, it was completely off in favor of Nicolas Maduro, who is claiming that he won the election. This is just crazy news. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Saying he's with guests. I don't know if he's got guests on right. He's just talking about the situation at hand. Again, refresh on this one. This is the story. Trump announces U.S. strike captures Venezuela's Maduro. Donald Trump revealed Saturday that his U.S. forces struck military sites in Venezuela's capital, leading to the reported capture and extraction of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. The operation involved helicopters over Caracas, striking near Fuerte Tiuna and possibly Hugo Chavez mausoleum amid long simmering U.S.-Venezuela tensions over sanctions, elections, and migrant gangs. Maduro's government called it a UN charter violation for oil and minerals, while Colombia and Cuba condemned the attacks. Trump's Mar-a-Lago press conference was set for 11 a.m. Eastern Time with no independent confirmation of the capture yet. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I had no idea that this could happen. It's just unreal. Unreal. And Pete Hegseth retweeting the statement. Carolyn Levitt retweeting the statement. BRICS News. President Trump says U.S. captured Venezuelan President Maduro and his wife. U.S. captures Venezuelan President Maduro. This is just absolutely insane. Donald Trump announces the United States carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Yikes. And there's his Truth Social right there. Breaking, Trump confirms strike in Venezuela, says Maduro and wife have been captured. See what Fox News is saying about this.
Breaking just now, Maduro, the president says, has been captured. Nicolas Maduro, president of Venezuela, has been captured, says President Trump. There will be a news conference at Mar-a-Lago on this at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Let me read you the full statement from the president. Quote, the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Breaking just now, Maduro at the...
Crazy news. Crazy news. Some people saying the USA is the aggressor. Well, yeah. Wow. All that talk. All that talk. What does this mean for the USA? It means less migration, less drugs coming into the United States. Means a lot of that. That was quick. Illegal invasion? It wasn't an invasion. It was an extraction mission. That's what that was. You keep laughing. Well, there's funny things to laugh at. Daddy's in the house. Yeah. Unreal. Unbelievable. Peace through strength. There you go. Trump, baby. Yeah, the leftists have no power anymore. Because that's the thing. There are a lot of illegal Venezuelans where it's going to be safe for them to go home. That's it. There's going to be a lot of Venezuelans that will be safe to go home. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Because I don't think, well, I mean, they could just go into an election and have a foreign oversight on the election. I don't know. There was an election that Maduro lost. And what's the rightful winner? He's in Spain now. We'll see. Just incredible news this evening. I was not expecting that kind of news. Unreal. By the way, if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join up with us, and you can see further news podcasts and whatnot. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we'll get more of this out to you. Really, just happenstance that I happened to be finishing a live stream when this news broke, and so I just jumped in and started talking about this. I happen to have been covering a bunch of this story from friends of mine in the news business that are from Venezuela that have been telling me the story of what's been going on. And this has been building up like crazy. And what do you know? Spectacular show here. Full-scale military operations appear to be underway against Venezuela. This was at that moment. Look at this crew. Like, this is just, wow. It really is something impressive to see. Precision strike. As they go in, the choppers just rock in, and they get some work done. Yeah, they just rocked in, and wow. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Mierda, marico, se prendió el peo en esta mierda, oyó.
I am absolutely thoroughly impressed with the fact that that's something that happened. An extraction. We'll hear tomorrow in the morning. I guess it's not tomorrow anymore. We'll hear at 11 a.m. Eastern time what went down, how this strike was carried out, what the plan is after this, what will happen after this is the big question. It really is unbelievable, the news that's coming out. So for the person who was saying didn't see rockets, there you can see the rockets there. So there were very intentional strikes right there. And again, precision. They knew what they were. They knew where they were going to hit. It appears, and they went in and they hit it. Republican Representative Carlos A. Gimenez says, "Thank you, President Trump, for your leadership and resolve to our brave service members who have conducted a stellar military operation. Praying this is the beginning of freedom and democracy for Venezuela. Our community is forever grateful, and our country is safer than ever." That's crazy. Of course, I did commentary on this as this was news. This was not too long ago. They're being retweeted again 50 minutes ago. But this was about a month ago or so. Trump was asked about Maduro, and we had this to say.
Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Maduro,
Thank you, everybody. Well, he did, and now he's in custody of the United States. That is something else. That press conference is going to be off the charts. Holy cow! It's way in the West Coast, 2 a.m. at this point. So I'll try to get a few Z's before that. and see what happens with that. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's right. FAFO situation for President Maduro of Venezuela. Totally getting that. Holy cow. I honestly cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I'm looking forward to that press conference and seeing exactly what President Trump has to say about the strikes and the precision. Just amazing. I can't say this enough. Amazing that the U.S. military was able to move in, precision, like I said. What dictator doesn't have a compound with armed militia? What the just the fact that they just came in and they knew how to do this, and they just boop, precision, like they went in and they're just like, oh, that ingrown hair, I just gotta rip that one out there without destroying any of the other hairs. That is mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing that just happened. I cannot believe that this is something that happened. Anna Kasparian coming in, of course, with a really, really horrible take. You know, sometimes she gets it and she's almost there, but no. This administration is absolute trash, thieves, looters, thugs, and warmongers, nothing more. But that's never been the case. You said that they were going to go in and have a forever war with Iran, and that didn't happen. Precision strikes, baby. That's how it's done. Breaking new footage shows explosions around Caracas, Venezuela, as part of the city's south near a major military base lost electricity. Low-flying aircraft were seen and heard from across the capital, according to Reuters. Here's the footage.
Marico, vamos a moverla. Graba ahí, graba ahí. Espera. Marico, no puedo creer esta mierda.
Marico, tengo el corazón aquí yo.
Ya, marico.
Llama ya mismo.
¿Sí pillaste? No, voy a ir al lado fuerte de una, weón.
Sí, sí.
Marico, tengo el corazón a mil, pues.
No, marico, escucha, nuestros papás deben estar
muriéndose.
A mi mamá le da un infarto. No tengo que llegar a ese nivel, ¿verdad?
Vamos a caminar, vamos a...
Unbelievable. Here's some other footage of the planes, or not planes, it looks like helicopters flying in low. And it doesn't appear that those helicopters are the ones making the strikes in the other areas. We're not seeing rockets dropping from the sky from this view. Wow. Those are some strikes. Unbelievable. Unreal. What is this? War is won already, libs. Cry about something else. It's over. It looks like it's over at this point. It's already over. And this opens up the door. I mean, the liberals, I think for the most part, are not happy because they want to have new voters. They want to have new voters. And this will be a reason for all the illegals from Venezuela to, hey, it's safe to go back. We fixed it for you. Now get your gun rights back and never let this happen again. Don't let this happen again. But yeah, this is where it's going. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And again, for people who are tuning in, this was President Trump. He had made the announcement as people were wondering what went on. It hit the internet right away. There's been an attack in Venezuela. This is happening. Who's going to claim responsibility for this? What happened? Do we have any word on this? And lots of footage going around of the strike, of what went on. What was the story? Well, the story was Donald Trump came out and said it. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured, plucked out strategically, like a surgeon. They've been captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement, which I'm interested to find out more about. Law enforcement, U.S. law enforcement, had something to do with apprehending Maduro and his wife as they entered the United States, back to the United States. Details to follow will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Unbelievable. Lots of FAFOs in the chat right now. Lots of FAFOs in the chat. That really is the thing. Yep. Trump told Maduro to stop effing around, and they didn't listen. Trump was supposed to end wars, not start them. You're not serious, right? It's called peace through strength. We've had Democrats come into office so many times saying we're gonna stop wars, and in fact even Republicans. So George Bush, when he was running and during the election, I remember him saying no more world policing, no more entanglements and forever wars. And then we didn't get that. This is the first president that's actually kept his word on this. Obama, we want peace. The drone strike king, right? He was the drone striker in chief. It's exactly what everybody got. Joe Biden. Oh yeah, Joe Biden's gonna pull out of Afghanistan. Well, he was supposed to do it in a good way. Wow. Yeah. Okay. We saw how that went. More wars under Biden. Trump comes in, ends 9 wars, and people are saying warmonger. Are you kidding me? I'm talking about people that were subjected to a dictator, that wanted rid of the dictator, and they had an election, voted the dictator out, and he did not leave office, and they were allowing the Tren de Agua to just flee into the United States. All these boats. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And is there a war? Did a war start today? No. A precision strike. Plucked him out like an ingrown hair. Isn't that amazing? That is just absolutely incredible that took place tonight. Oh, so many people just... there's a lot of libs don't get it. But this sums it up right here perfectly.
Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What could we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Maduro offered everything.
It's true. Holy cow. And boy, did they learn. That was a leering moment for Venezuela. There's some quality leering right there. Let's just say, unbelievable. Now let's defund those daycares. That's exactly what's happening next. Man, this is a president that actually follows through with the things he says. I want to see more on the Epstein stuff. I definitely want to see more on the fraud stuff, voter fraud as well. I want to see all of this stuff. But this tells me that things are happening. This tells me things are happening. Unbelievable. Yeah, Trump top G. And both are in custody. Isn't that incredible? Yeah, tell it like it is, Trump. That's exactly what we're seeing. See, this is BS. Trump just got shot. He's in critically. Nah. Nope. I mean, you can live action role play all you want, but that ain't happening. It's so funny to me, armchair leftists who know absolutely shit from apple butter would deny the Venezuelan guy singing the praise of his country being freed. Leftists are people. Yes, yes, that's exactly right. To see my friend Rudy excited about what happened. He was singing and waving the Venezuelan flag and just absolutely excited at this story. To see that, yeah, that tells you everything. That tells you everything you need to know. Leftists, crazy leftists that are saying, "Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know what's going on." Whoa, look at that footage. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Yeah, man. Rudy's got a lot on his plate tonight. That's unreal. I'm sure he'll be live broadcasting probably all the way until it's time to watch that press conference with Donald Trump. I'm sure he'll be there for the whole thing. So that's what there is to look forward to. It's absolutely unbelievable, but I guess unless I can get Rudy on to talk about this, I'll give him one last zinger. Say, hey, are you able to take a call? It's hard. It's hard because I've got my stuff muted all the time now. In fact, I have it on after hours, so it's just the way it goes, especially when you got kids. But it's always good to see this. You know, the excited look on people's face from Venezuela. People are happy about this. People are not upset. You know, CNN's probably going to spin this in the morning. That's probably what they're doing. They're probably like sitting there writing up new stuff because they can't report on what's actually happening. Like I said, they report on a narrative. So that narrative is going to be spun for you. So you get the spin. They're working hard at that. I'm looking forward to that. Just look at the excited look on his face. I haven't seen him that happy in a very long time. That is amazing. And it's just upset and happy all at the same time. This is an excited people, happy to see what's happening in Venezuela. Venezuela is never going to be the same. Is never going to be the same. Yeah, CNN, LOL, of course. Was it breaking international law isn't spin? Who is that? This is a friend of mine. His name is Rudy, and he's got a show called Rudy Cast. If you speak Spanish, his show, he does mostly Spanish, but he has another show where he does English. He hasn't uploaded there for a very long time. You can understand why. But go to Rudy Cast. He's got a great show. He does it all live in Spanish, and his reports now that YouTube is a lot better than it's been in the past. Now YouTube for VOD content, so like already recorded content, not the live stuff like this, you can actually dub it. There's a dubbing feature now. Not for every channel, but I think for channels like his, channel's large enough, you can get a dubbed feature where you can see the reports or you can listen to the reports in his voice, but in your language. So in English, he's doing this in Spanish, but you can have a listen to it in English. It's a great thing. It's something that I really, really like that YouTube's been doing. I don't think any other platform has that, but that's for sure. It's a really good thing. What else we got here? Oh man, we got a lot of lefties in the chat. I mean, it fluctuates. It's back and forth, but there's a bunch. If you're in the chat, drown them out. Drown out the lefties. It's crazy. Yes, those are definitely tears of joy from Rudy. Absolutely. Absolutely tears of joy from Rudy. He's excited. He's happy to see what's happening there. Of course, he's busy. Again, I tried to get him on the phone. I had him on the phone at the beginning of the live stream where we were just getting the preliminary news about what was happening. A bit of news that he was getting from on the ground, a bit of news from different sources on social media and whatnot. We got as much out there as possible. But for those just tuning in, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That's before anything else. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that in the description down below. But then, of course, let's get to the news. For those that haven't heard, there was a strike on Venezuela late into the evening last night. This was coordinated by the U.S. military, the U.S. government, and U.S. law enforcement, where they conducted a strike in Venezuela, a precision strike. It took several hours before we heard any news about it, and then Donald Trump put this out on Truth Social. He wrote on Truth Social, the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. So this is unbelievable. Unbelievable news. I did not expect anything like this. Going into this, we didn't even know if it was the United States that did the strike. It took several hours before Fox News was the first to report on it. Not really surprised that the White House would be happier with Fox News, given the situation over the past 8 years or so, more than 8 years, past 9.5, 10 years. Wow. Yeah, it's been a decade since Trump came into the spotlight as not their favorite person on the radical left-wing media, of course. But nonetheless, they didn't get the story. Then CBS later got the word. That's all they said was they heard from the White House. They got confirmation from Mar-a-Lago, as Fox News had said. And then later, this confirmation came out. We got it as it was happening. But yes, Donald Trump saying that they conducted a strike, a successful strike carried out in Venezuela, where I don't know any other military in the world. I didn't even know that the U.S. was capable of doing this. This is just absolutely insane that the United States was able to go in and precision strike a dictator who had his militia, military surrounding him, whatnot. He was being protected. And what happened? We don't know. We're going to read about this in books in the future. We're going to read about this, and we're going to find out exactly what went down. We'll hear a little bit about it from Trump in Mar-a-Lago tomorrow at 11, or in the morning here at 11 a.m. Eastern time. But until then, we're not going to find out any details. But again, this was such an incredible precision strike. I didn't even know, many people probably didn't even know that this was something that the military was capable of doing. How they pulled it off, don't know. Again, books will be written about this. Was it a case that his security detail were in on it? Perhaps they were like, no, we'll get them for you. We'll get them out. Perhaps it was a case of the U.S. some special force team came in and they took out all the let's just say barriers in the way of getting to Maduro and his wife to pull them out of the country, extract them, and apprehend them. That is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I didn't even know anything like that could take place. I had no idea. And of course, you're going to have a lot of what? Clyde would be a great 24-hour news guy. Maybe that's what I need to do. I can definitely keep going with this. But again, incredible thing. A lot of lefties jumping in immediately, condemning the thing, condemning what occurred, what happened. But this is by no stretch of the imagination, this is the will of the Venezuelan people. They wanted this. They voted for this in the last election. It didn't happen because of dictatorship. This is a lesson to be learned, actually, because Venezuela, long before this date, had brought in gun control measures and stricter gun control measures. And then they found themselves in a situation where they were behind the Iron Curtain and had a dictatorship. Well, what are you going to do with a dictatorship? Well, a lot of people were asking, why don't the Venezuelan people stand up against Maduro? And the unanimity of it was they couldn't. They weren't armed. They're not able to stand up against a dictator, a tyrant on their own land. So the best way, I say, this should be a lesson to a lot of people out there that no matter what, you should definitely be advocating for the Second Amendment, gun rights for everybody. Absolutely. You don't have a situation quite this dire where another nation has to step in and help you out if you're the ones that can help yourself. That is a fact. Serious question. Does Trump actually have a blanket of orangish makeup for some reason? Or is that fake news? That's fake news. That's fake. It's funny, but it's fake news. It's absolutely funny, but it's fake news. What is this? Kidnapping a woman, terrorizing country. Basically, all creative people try to tell us, like Star Wars was George Lucas, the bad guys are the fat Americans. What? We in Europe now that you kill children's. What? No idea. I guess did you go to the Leering Center? 2A all day. That's right. 2A all day. If you want to be able to protect yourself from tyrants in the future, you need to be able to protect yourselves. You need to be able to not only be able to arm yourselves, but form a militia if need be. That's the whole point of the Second Amendment. This is why we got to drill this into people's heads. This should be a lesson to Canada. Canada, what are you doing? how is this? How is that going? How is that the being the country wants a dictatorship. They're looking for a dictatorship. They're trying to get an unelected government in by bribing MPs on the other side of the aisle to come over to the liberals so they can have an unelected majority government. And they're trying to take your guns away at the same time. I think that's a moment that people should be concerned about. I think that is a moment. It's just now oil is for USA. Well, the reality is after an event like this, when they do establish a government and it's no longer a dictatorship, I think there's going to be a lot of, well, if you have open markets and free markets and people are able to compete in markets, I see this as a great thing. I don't necessarily think that the U.S. should take over the oil in Venezuela. I think that companies who want to invest in oil in Venezuela and minerals have access to investing in oil and minerals, and then they'll sell it to whoever they want to. Guess who's really close and likes to consume a lot of oil and minerals? That's right. We know that. That's a pretty no-brainer. But the reality of the situation was Venezuela, they like to FA and and they FO'd. This is the situation. Trump said this just about a month ago.
Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Offered everything.
Thank you, Mr. President. Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. President. That's unbelievable. That's such a funny moment from Donald Trump. And now we're seeing it. Now a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is a war, blah, blah, blah." No, it's a precision strike. War is avoided. The war is avoided. Just like what happened in Iran. Years of escalation, just pallets of American money being dumped on the Iranians. All these horrible negotiations, the deals that they didn't even listen to. They didn't care to listen to. They just keep going, keep trying, get a nuclear bomb, flaunt it, brag about it, hide it. Trump ended that. Precision bunker busters. Pow. Problem solved. No other military operations. So many lefties. Oh, now we're in third World War. Blah, blah, blah. No. It didn't happen. It went on. It went on to... What was it? There was... the Iranians had their little poo-poo retaliatory strike that the U.S. didn't even have to work to avoid. And that was a save face sort of thing. Yeah, we're gonna retaliate. You're gonna pretend that we retaliated, like you were scared or something. Nobody was scared. That's what happened. What's gonna happen here? I say not a lot. There's not gonna be a retaliation. Not on this one. In fact, people are celebrating. People are absolutely celebrating like crazy. Like my friend over there, Rudy. Rudy's celebrating on RudyCast. He's a Venezuelan who knows all about what's going on, and that's it. That's where we're at. Celebrations. We'll see what comes out of websites like the Associated Press. They got something in here. An hour ago. Breaking. U.S. President Donald Trump says Venezuela Nicolas Maduro has been captured after U.S. conducted a large-scale strike on the country. That's right. He was captured. I can't get over that. I can't get over how amazing that strike is. That precision. Bravo, USA. Bravo, USA. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. What is that? Freedom Lover? Love that name. Love that name. Just unreal. Yeah, Venezuela just got a taste of freedom today. Just got a taste. What's this? American problems for the world have to be stopped. Like world problems that affect America? I agree. I agree. I think all those problems that affect America should be stopped. And that's that'll be a win. Absolutely a win. Got maybe some news here. What have we got? Ezra Levant, if you don't know who he is he's the founder of Rebel News in Canada. Rebel News is a popular website for conservatives in Canada. There's not much of that in Canada. They're one of the only ones. I think one of the only ones. That's correct. Ezra Levant says Mexico's president will take Trump's drug and human trafficking concerns more seriously now. And it's a safe bet that Iran's Ayatollah would rather choose to fly to Moscow than be arrested and flown to the U.S. This is the most audacious operation since Israel's pager bombs. It is unbelievable as well. I can't believe it. La Rose asking, will the rightful winner of the 2024 election, Edmundo Gonzalez, return to Venezuela now? That should be the case. That should be the case. Now, there are some people in the Venezuelan circles who say that even that Edmundo Gonzalez was a bit of a controlled opposition type character. The true person who was supposed to run was Maria Corina Machado. She was supposed to be running. Then she was barred from running. Which is just like that's not what dictators do. You just like bar somebody from running. Now she absolutely would have won, but they went with the second choice, Edmundo Gonzalez. Now that Venezuela will be providing unlimited crude to the USA to help rebuild the country, what will that mean for Canada? I think Canada should start taking Donald Trump a little more seriously. Oh, gross. Yeah, absolutely. Canada should be taking Donald Trump a little more seriously after this. Because, yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, make sure, again, to all those that maybe haven't heard this message, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We get more of this kind of news out there for you, things as they're happening. And, of course, a lot of fun content that you can scroll through. A lot of fun content that, well, important news content that is happening around the world and right in your hand, in the palm of your hand. That's right. Or on your TV or wherever you watch this stuff. It's amazing. Good to have you. Make sure you subscribed. Great to have you. And as it stands, I don't think there's much more to talk about on this one. We'll try to, if possible, put out a story or do a live stream talking about what goes on in that press conference with Donald Trump, talking about what went down during this. But until then, I'll leave this one with you guys. A little bit of time to digest what you just heard. And for everybody else, hey, keep on trucking. We'll see you guys again. Make sure you subscribed, and we'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.